If we want to have different results, we're going to have to change the process probably. And that's the biggest thing that we've gotten over the past few years. If you want different results, you have to be willing to be a different person and have different activity. And so I love, and Jim talked about it in the leaders meeting, he says, if you don't change directions, you might end up where you're headed. And that's such a simple thing, and we say that at the end of every preview because it's right there in the Network 21 preview booklet. And sometimes it just goes right over our head. We say, okay, if you don't change directions, you'll end up where you're headed. But think about that kind of in a deep way. And look down the road at where you're headed and think, okay, is that where I want to be? And it's funny, but we look at lots of different, industries, and even just in the recognition, you heard the guy saying, no, I was in contracting, and I saw lots of guys doing really well with that, but I just never did. But look 5 years down the road. But every industry goes through things like that. It's only our business model that seems to kind of be able to continuously grow and grow in any economy and grow in any language, grow in countries where you think like, oh, it'll never work there. Communist countries, capitalist countries, socialist countries, countries that speak English, Chinese, Spanish, it doesn't matter. Our business model just works. And it really comes back to the owners that make it happen. You look at the difference between what happened over the past 18 months worldwide in business, and you look at what happened in the past 18 months in this business model in business, and you say, okay, why did all these other companies go out of business when this business model went from 7 to 8.2 billion? And the only thing that I could see is other companies are run by employees, and this business model is run by owners. And owners have a different set of goals, a different set of habits, a different commitment to what they're doing than employees do. If I know the company's going down, this is what a lot of employees thought. Get whatever you can as quick as possible because the company's out. And that's why by the time a company went, and it had been so looted that of course it went out of business because they thought it was going down. Our business model, when times get tough, people say, I can talk to 4 more people this week. When times get tough, I can do drop and shop 6 more times. There's a difference between owners and employees. And if I know there's a difference between owners and employees, I just have to think, I want to find good owners. I want to find out what they're doing, and I want to plagiarize the heck out of it. I just want to copy them. You can't do it in the university, but they pay you to do it in this business model. I love it, When you cheat off of someone next to you, it's called cheating in the university. But when you do it in this business model, they give you a pen, they give you a check, they send you on free trips, you know what I mean? So literally find out what the people that are doing it right are doing, look at their paper, jot down their answers, you know what I mean? Do we give them permission to do that? Do it. Plagiarize, Find out what someone's doing that works. Copy them, Copy their attitude, copy their work ethic, copy their activity, and you can have great results. It's so funny to see what's happened just in the past couple of years with different businesses. And you think of businesses that have been around hundreds of years, talking about Montgomery Wards, businesses that have been around 20 years, like Circuit City, different companies, Pontiac, Saturn, companies that did billions of dollars that are gone. And it's so funny that, 20 years ago, and there's several diamonds in this business model that were engineers for Ford or engineers for GM, and I guarantee you their friends were like, you're quitting your engineering job, your corporate management job to do that, And now they're thinking, well, if I would have done it when you did it, and things kind of change. We have to think like the people that have the results that we want and learn how to do exactly what they're doing. Really make a decision. And the number one thing I would recommend as a business owner that has lots of other things going on, because you do. You have family obligations, you have work obligations, you probably still have continuing education obligations or different things like that going on. We know that. Everyone's busy. But you just have to decide if the results are worth it, prioritize your time, and even if you can decide, I can only spend 1 evening a week building my business. Decide that. And always have that 1 evening a week filled. A lot of times we think, I'm so busy, I can only do 1 evening a week, and then that 1 evening comes around and we haven't filled it, right? I don't know if you've ever been there, But decide your priorities and decide your commitment level, and then stay committed at that. Better to always have 1 night a week filled, right, because you're committed to it, than trying to fill 3 and not filling any of them. Just decide what your commitment level is and really dig into that. And I guarantee you, you'll move so much further forward than you thought was possible. You'll start to be able to buy back some of that time. Make a little bit of extra money in your business, pay someone to mow your yard. Great, that frees up that afternoon. Now you've got 2 days that you can do that. And it's so funny, a lot of times that we think that we fill our time with that you can pay someone else to do. I heard Hans Neushold say one time, we pay people to do everything but show the plan. He's like, I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't wash anything, I don't take cars to the mechanic. He's like, we don't do anything. We pay people to do everything except show the plan. That's what we do. That's what we can't pay someone to do. And so decide what you can sacrifice time-wise. If it's one evening, start with one. And I know sometimes we talk so much because, like, now we live off of our business. This is what we do. We've created great results from it. We love it. We're sold out to it. That sometimes if this is your first session, you're saying, like, oh, my goodness, well, like, I can't do all that. I've got all these obligations. Great. Just commit. Commit to one night and commit to having that filled, whether it's a preview or a startup session, and just say, okay, these 2 hours every Tuesday evening are business. This is my business commitment. And from there, things will grow. I really talk to people all the time about the fact that our business is not ability related, it's skill related. You don't have to be born with the abilities to build this business, and Jim talked about that. You have to be willing to develop a few skills. And that's what I love about this business model. Because when I look at successful business owners and I hear some of these guys talking that are organized and they came from professional backgrounds, that was not me. I'm not organized still. I still don't have a professional background. But I could learn some simple things to move my business forward because it wasn't based on inborn, innate talents. It was based on, can I learn to flip through a booklet with someone and read them what that page says? And can I learn the three main questions, right? About time, about money, and about can I do it? And so just know that our business is not talent related. It's skill related. It's things that we can learn. It's really right side of the brain. It's things that we develop, not things that we're born with, and that's what I love. The number one thing that I would recommend in this business is to focus on what you can control. Maybe this is choleric, but a lot of times we start where we're at and we think like, okay, well, I can't control the hours I have to work, and I can't control the economy. And we start thinking about everything we can't control. The economy this, my car this, the price of gas this, babysitters cost this, I live in this neighborhood. And we start thinking like if I drove a nicer car, then people would respect me more when I show up to do the preview. If I lived in a better neighborhood, then I could have people over to the house. If I had more time, then I could meet more people to show the preview to. If the economy was better, then I'd have more money to buy products so that I could do more personal points. And we start thinking about everything we can't control, which is most things in life. That's what employees think about, everything they can't control. Their boss this, where their office is, how annoying the person in the cubicle is next to them. Owners don't think about that. We just think about what can we control. And think about what you can control in your business. You can control that one night a week that you start and dedicate time to. And the next thing I would recommend is find out whatever you can control and control it. If you can control it, control it. But I already mentioned all the things you can't control. Probably the number one thing that you can control is how many people you personally show this business model to. You might not be able to control, if they say yes, if they say no. You might not be able to control if they're excited or not excited, but you can control if they see the preview from you or not. The number one thing we recommend is really dig into your personal list. And if you haven't sat down and really brainstormed and written down every name you know, start with that immediately. Immediately. Pull out your cell phone and look at your cell phone. And this is what my father/upline taught me to do. He said, look at anyone that you don't want in somebody else's team and write their name down. Because I was thinking I don't know if he'll get in. No. Do you want them in somebody else's team or in yours? Well, I don't want them in anyone else's team, if they're going to get in. Great, write their name down. And really start building your personal list. Really start brainstorming. And it's funny how things will pop in your head. If you just start writing names down, write down everyone's name that's in your cell phone and then think, who do you know that owns a dog? Oh, yeah, Jimmy. And you write down his name. You know what I mean? Do you know any other Jimmys? Yeah, I know that Jimmy that I used to work at so-and-so with. And just start brainstorming. Just start really putting names down. Because the more options you have, the more directions you can go. Find out what you can control and control it. The number of times you show the preview in the month is really, in the long run, the only thing that you can 100% control. And then from that, you're going to start to be able to control more and more things. So you want to go through your initial list as quick as possible. The main reason why you want to go through your initial list as quick as possible is so they don't end up in somebody else's team, and probably so they can catch up with you later. If you're brand new in business and you have an upline that will help you show some previews, great. But if not, what we find is that a lot of times the first people we show the preview to is just practice. It's just learning. It's like our internship. It's like, I don't know if we have a couple different family members that did their internship and became public school teachers. You don't intern. No internship goes good. It's like every intern leaves the school crying every day because the kids, I mean, like if an intern comes in, yes, you know what I mean? Like spitballs and we're not paying attention and we're going to tell them our teacher always lets us watch The Simpsons on Thursday. And you know what I mean? You treat interns the same way you treat substitutes, It's not about, learning all the skills. It's about just learning to stick to it. Just like your degree is not worth as much as being able to show a potential employer, I can stick to something for 4 years. It doesn't matter if your degree is in engineering, communication, or Sanskrit. You know what I mean? I stuck to it for 4 years, And they say, okay, great. Our business model, we learn everything we need to learn in the beginning just by going through our initial list. And so don't get bogged down in everyone from my initial list needs to say yes. You'll probably have 1 out of 5. Those are really the ratios of a new IBO showing previews off their initial list. A lot of people that I showed the preview to right out of the bat, either not interested or not ambitious. Either way, I wanted to show them as quick as possible. And a story that my coach told me is they showed their 15 best friends in 2 nights. He said, my goal was to go through my list as quick as possible. So one night they showed 8 couples, one night they showed 7. Or one night they showed 8 people, one night they showed 7 people. It was 4 couples, 3 couples, and a single. And in 2 nights they got 15 no's. And he said, the best thing I ever did was in 2 nights, in 1 week, get 15 no's. Because I could have gotten 15 no's 1 night a week for 15 weeks and then been like, well, no one's getting in. Instead, 15 people said no in 2 nights, and I got mad and went out and talked to someone, and they got registered that night, And so think the same way in your business. Build your list as quick as possible and go through it. And then once you go through your list, you're going to have some good things that start to happen, but you're going to just want to get in the habit of just being friendly and meeting people everywhere you go. We don't have to be this, there's whole CDs on prospecting about being good at meeting people, and really meeting people. The whole thing for me comes down to, Les Giblin in Skill with People. I don't know if you've read that book. It's my kind of book. It's like 8 pages long, and there's like 4 letters a page, It's really good, But he said, it's all about making a good impression. And that's what contacting and meeting people is all about. Because you're probably not going to talk about business when you meet someone. You're probably not going to talk much about yourself. You're just going to make a good enough first impression that you can say, you know what, hey, let's talk sometime. And so just keep your antennas up everywhere you go. If the only thing we can control is how many times we show the preview a month, then let's just control it, Go through your initial list, get that out of the way, and then just start meeting people. And you never know who you'll meet that very quickly could build a business or introduce you to someone that could very quickly build a business. That we can 100% control. Start looking at things that you can comment about people. Most of the time, we meet people, and the first thing they say or we say is something negative. I don't know if you're like that or not, but usually we complain about something. During the summer, we say, oh, it's so hot. Right now, we're saying, oh, it's so cold. When the gas prices are so high, we're saying, oh, it's so high. When they're not, we don't say, hey, love these gas prices, don't you? We always find something negative to talk about. Stock market's doing this. My boss is doing this. People are doing this. And people aren't attracted to that. Find something positive you can say about anything. Man, you have a cool accent. Hey, I love your shirt. Cool shoes. Are you a Razorback fan? Whatever. If they're wearing a shirt that's got a falcon on it, it's probably because they like the Atlanta Falcons, not hate them. And so you can create an instant in with someone. Hey, man, like the Falcons? Hey, that's awesome. You ever catch any games? No, why? What kind of work do you do? Boom, 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 5 seconds. Hey, we should talk sometime. Let me get your number. And it's really funny how quickly you can meet with people. Just accents that people have, things that, they're interested in. You can instantly create a 5-second friendship with someone. We're really into health food. We were going through Dunkin' Donuts the other day, and the guy had like a really cool accent. And, like a lot of times you don't expect a lot from the person that's helping you at the drive-thru window. But this guy was like a very sharp guy. And we were going through and I asked him, like, hey, where's your accent from? And he's like, Russia. And I'm like, what's your name? My name's Saeed. I'm like, Saeed's not a Russian name. He's like, no, I'm from Iran, but I lived in Russia for 20 years. I moved here 3 months ago. We're the sharpest guy I've ever met at Dunkin' Donuts by far. I said, Saeed, we should talk sometime. You're really sharp. I'm working on some business projects all the time. Maybe we can talk about something. Great. Exchange info. But a lot of times we'll just go through the day and we'll think, I should have talked to that person. It's not anything fancy. It's, hey, Saeed, you were a lot nicer than the guy I talked to at Wendy's 5 minutes ago, health food. And, you were a lot nicer than the guy I talked to. We should talk sometime because are you planning on staying at Dunkin' Donuts? Heck no, he's not planning on staying at Dunkin' Donuts. He's probably way overqualified for that. The silver producer that I told you about, brand new on our team last month, he's been an engineer for 25 years. He moved to the U.S. and he was cooking burgers. Now, way overqualified for that, but that's kind of where he ended up based on different circumstances. But, if you put 50 people in a team, you're going to go silver. And he was willing to do that. And that's who we're looking for. Someone that wants a little bit more. It doesn't mean they have to be working in Dunkin' Donuts. There's CEOs of major companies that build business. There's people that are making lots of money in lots of different industries that are just looking for other options. And so get good at making 5-second friendships, keeping your antennas up, and you never know who you're going to bump into that could build a business very quickly. Really right now, we're not looking to register new people. We're looking to find someone that can go Leaders Club this month. And that's what we talk about all the time. I was talking to an IBO on the way here this morning. I said, great, hey, on your way into work, find someone that can go Leaders Club this month. He said, yep, I will. And that's what we've been talking about a lot in our team. Not finding someone you can show the preview to, not finding someone that you can get registered. Find someone you can help go Leaders Club this month. And you will find those people. And every month the goal is just to find someone that can go Leaders Club this month. Because there's more people than ever that want to make an extra $500 a month. A year and a half ago, we were talking to people that thought, literally thought money was just like everywhere, and then we see the way that reality works out. People right now are a little bit more realistic, and they know, if I made an extra $500 a month, I could actually someday get out from underneath my credit card debt. Someday I could pay off my student loans if I just had an extra $1,000 a month. And so we're looking for those people that just want something, It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be fancy. We just have to start putting the work forward. Find something we can control and control it, the number of people you show the preview to. Get good at a simple, quick invitation, because as you're meeting people, you're going to call them back, and you are the guy they met at Piggly Wiggly. They don't know you. You don't know them. You guys have Piggly Wiggly up here? Yeah. I love that. We don't have it in Florida. You guys are blessed amongst all the nations of the earth, I would shop there every day just because how cool is that, I love Piggly Wiggly, But, hey, I met you in Piggly Wiggly. We talked about the Falcons, Anyways, I can't promise anything, but I'm kicking around a couple of business ideas. I think you'd fit with the team we're putting together to work on a project. Should we talk? We don't get into business. We don't get into explaining a lot of things. Hey, I met you the other day. You seem sharp. I think you'd fit with the team we're putting together to work on a business project. Should we talk? Great. Can I come by your house about 7:45 on Tuesday? Great. And just get out there. Fill that time slot. Decide what you can control and control it. And you think, really, that's not that fancy. Exactly. That's why it works. Nothing I do, if I do it, it is not fancy. You know what I mean? Buy fancy things with the checks. Auda can because she's got class. I still couldn't. You know what I mean? You give me the biggest check in the world, I couldn't buy a jet because that is way too cool. You know what I mean? Auda could because it's classy. I'd buy like a sled or something in Florida. You know what I mean? But anyways, but wouldn't it be cool to have a sled? Oh my! Just be grateful you're not in my team, except those of you that are, and then be extremely grateful you are. So the important thing about your business is you decide that you want to take your business forward. Know that you can do a lot with your business model. You can meet a person tomorrow that can build a huge business. And think about the stories you've heard of people that have built amazingly large businesses. I just think, what if that person that was active for 2 months that showed Jim and Nancy the preview wouldn't have shown Jim and Nancy the preview? There was that 2-month window before Jim and Nancy's sponsors called them and quit and said, we're not going to do it anymore, that they called Jim and Nancy and showed them the preview. What if that 2-month window wouldn't have happened? If somebody wouldn't have met that person that quit after 2 months, we wouldn't be here. I think about the person that showed my parents the preview. My dad's cousin saw the plan, not interested. No, I would never do that. But told my dad, hey, you should check out Amway. Are you in Amway? No, wouldn't do that. He sponsored a Crown. And so just think, when you show the preview to someone, if they say yes or they say no, you never know what that will mean to you. And so just think, I'm praying for that person that will be in for 2 months and then quit before they sponsor the next Jim and Nancy, or that person that I show the preview to that they say no, that talks to their cousin that put 75 on their front line their first year in business, And there's so many of these stories that we just have to know the only thing we can control is who we show the preview to. Can't control the economy, can't control what's happening in your neighborhood, in your homeowners association, with your boss, with the person that works next to you in the cubicle, but you can control talking to that person this afternoon when you're already tired from the seminar and you go out to eat with some friends and that person seems sharp and you think, should I talk to him or should I not? They might be the next person that's in for 2 months and registers the next Jim and Nancy. And so decide what you're going to commit to your business, decide your working hours, decide that you're going to control the one thing that you can control, show more people the preview, you'll create amazing results. And from some simple activity, the results and the lifestyle that you can create will be so phenomenal. You'll be amazed at how simple it is. When you decide and commit to an activity level, commit to doing the work, and then enjoy the results afterwards. Here's my wife, Auda.
We, like Hill said, we are looking for people who are looking for us. And really the question is, are you who we are looking for? I love that CD. Are you who we're looking for? Because we are looking for people who want to win, and we love to win. You know, we love to win at everything we've ever done. We like to do it with excellence. And there are people who have worked in many professions where it was impossible to win. You can be in the wrong track. You can be somewhere where it is impossible to win in it just because you are fighting, you're wanting a result that's not going to give you. And what I can tell you from this business, this is somewhere where you can win. You can win here. You can make the things that you want for your life happen through this vehicle. We always see this business as a vehicle that can get you to where you want to get. You can never get to Hawaii in a car. You know why? Right? The bridge is out, right? There's no... So just... You have to have an airplane, and that's like with this business. This is a vehicle where really our efforts, when we apply our efforts into it, it pays off. You can win here, and we're looking for winners. Are you somebody like that? Not everybody is like that, but we are looking for the ones. So if you're here and you feel like, yes, that's me, just put the pedal to the metal, you know. You have to get in there, get dirty, get in the trenches. You have to, in this business, really get good at doing things that don't seem big at all. And I don't know if you figured that out yet. But if you're waiting for some huge project, something huge that is your job, what you got to do, if we waited for that, you know, it's not coming. It's a newsflash. It's not coming. We do things that seem so insignificant and so small, and we have to learn to do it with a good attitude and do it and do it and do it. So do we want to win? That's what we need to do. If we want to win, we got to have the attitude that I will until, like Nancy says, and I love that. That motivates me so much all the time. I will until it gets to where I need it to be. So maybe I'll just talk. And I love what Kel talked to you about, because that's how we build our business. This is not something we're guessing at. We have to know how to show the plan, talk to people, find the winners, find the people who are going to team up with us. We got to show the plan. Just the really basics. We got to find the right people. The only way to find them is showing that silly booklet. There could be so many ways that we could do it, but the person that you find that's going to run with you, they're going to try to do whatever you did. So if you did something really complicated to register them, they would attempt to do the same. And what are the chances that they'll get it just exactly like you did it? Maybe you've been around, maybe you've shown it a lot, so you think you can be real creative. I can be very creative. I'm a musician, okay? But it doesn't work. We just want to do what works. We don't want to do what's fancy, wow, that's cool. Well, if it's cool and it doesn't give us the results that we want, it's not so cool at the end of the day. So we have to build a list, and building the list is essential. Segmented lists, we're all about segmented lists. If the ones of you that were in the leaders meeting already heard this, but we want to build a list of people. Who do we know from our current job? Who do we know from our previous job? Who do we know that are the parents of our friends of our children? I don't know how you put all of that together, but you know what I mean. And like that, and just start making a list. It's amazing how it grows when you segment it. And I do mine often. I love the starting point booklet. I have that. It's like a workbook for me. I carry it with me, and I'm always putting new names in there. So it doesn't matter if you're new. I would say carry it with you. Just be filling it up all the time. The people that we meet when we are out and about, they go on there, and it keeps us, because there was a time where we used to get so many cards, and then they would be all around. Where did we meet this one? I don't know who this is. And we would call them. We didn't even, because when you're really doing, you can have so many cards and not know. So now the little list is awesome, where you put the name, the phone number, comment. Comment for me, there's the funniest comments in there about something that I'm going to be able to, when I call them to do a simple invitation, something that reminds me of when I met them, that gives me something in common with them to talk about. So you can make in the comments anything, oh, she loved, I loved her shoes, or whatever. It was something you talked about and that you clicked with. So we do that. That's how you build business. You just show the plan, you build the list. Is it simple? Yes, it is simple. There's no big project that you have to do. And that's why it's sometimes so dangerous, because to win in this business, we have to be able to do that, do it, and feel excited about it, and show passion and show energy when we're doing it with people. If we are not able to do that, it doesn't transfer to the people who are seeing it. People follow passion, and passion comes from knowing really why you're doing something. So think about your dreams, think about the things that you want to get, and when you're showing the plan, that comes through, and that's really what gets people into the team, into the business. Is sometimes, I remember the first time I saw the presentation, I didn't understand all the numbers. It was like, you can memorize all of that quickly. Of course, they made sense, and you could see that it was real money and all of that, but you're not going to understand everything you have to do. But if the person that was showing us would have been tentative and kind of didn't seem sure about it, do you think that we would have tried? Or no, right? Because it's important. If you're really looking for something else to do, you want to follow something that is going to get you to where you want to go, that you're going to win in. Something really quick, I told Dave and Jules I was going to talk about this. We get paid for volume, right? So it is very important that we have strategies to build volume in our business. We have the Network 21 building blocks, and thank God for that. So we have a map for success that we have. And in between, part of those goals of being Pacesetter, part of being Leaders Club, part of being ELC, part of all of that, part of being Quicksilver, Executive Platinum, is a certain amount of volume, right? So we need to keep up with what's happening that is building volume quickly. Many of us that were in Hawaii and Kel and I were behind on the drop and shop. In our conference, we hadn't talked about it so much. And when we saw everything that was happening, when we got home, we got right into it. And the stuff that we've seen from drop and shop, there are many new people here. So for sure, as the person who is working with you, to explain drop and shop to you, because it's a great way that you don't have to be an expert in product, but you can drop something to someone for them to shop. And what I love the most about that is the percentages of people who are, the percentages of success with it. Because the success rate with drop and shop is really big. Couple of things that I think would be good mentioning just to focus. We have the VIP challenge for our coming conferences, right? But the main thing about VIP is move on to a new level. Move on to the next level of something that you've done. If you've done Pacesetter and maybe you're brand new, set a goal to go Leaders Club. It's really simple, and it's something that is important to learn. If you're Leaders Club, go to ELC. If you're ELC, go to Quicksilver, and so forth. And just know that Jim and Nancy and our diamonds would not set this VIP goal for us if it was unattainable, right? It is possible to jump to the next level. Otherwise, the challenge wouldn't have been set. So just believe that. Wherever you are, know, yes, the challenge is being set because I can jump to the next level. And if you would just believe that you can, that is very important. That's the first step. Don't go tentative because remember, people can feel in you if you're really going to do it or not going to do it. So VIP is very important. And one thing that's helping us a lot to help all of us and the people in our groups attain the VIP is the Fast Track. And Fast Track is a fantastic program. And because it helps people feel like they're winning and start winning from their first month in business. And so it's not about the $50. Kel and I would have never started in this business if it was just for the money. We were already making that money. You know, for me, when I started doing artistry sessions, for instance, that I had to learn about all the products. As a violinist, I never knew about the products. And I remember the first few ones that I had with all the women, I wasn't very effective yet at having them know why they should buy all this artistry. I would go and play a gig somewhere, and it was $300 for a couple of hours and of something that it was just second nature to me. And then I did all this preparation for an artistry clinic, right? You know everything that goes into it if you've ever done one, and all of these things, and maybe the earnings were like at the end of the day, Carla is laughing. We've all done this. So if it was just about the money, it would have, the initial money, because of course, as you've seen the lifestyle that you get in this business, yes, there is big money, but sometimes at the beginning, right? It's a duplication thing. I had to do the artistry clinic, even though those 2 hours I would have made a lot more money doing something else, because it duplicates in the business. And now it's paid us a lot of money. Kel likes skincare now a lot from the earnings that's made in our business. We're Nutrilite crazy, but wow, artistry is something that you have to learn about. So the Fast Track, get familiar with it. It has earnings for every level, from the new person to every level, and it's really important to get that implemented into our businesses. Another quick little thing that I want to touch on is the Give the Best campaign. That we all got some stuff on the mail, right? And a lot of times when I get all of those materials in the mail, I don't have time to sit through and read all through that. And we're coming into the holiday season, and our goals, don't wait. They don't wait for us to eat our turkey and put the tree up and everything, We got to do those things and then keep our business moving. And so there are some things that we can have in mind. And with the Give the Best campaign, there are a lot of things to help us keep promoting volume. I think this holiday season is a really good opportunity to get together with people. They don't think it's weird for you to invite them to your house, because you can have a holiday party. You can and connect with them. It's easier to build the business in the holidays because it's like normal. Everybody wants to hang out and get together, so you can create connections with people. If you meet somebody and you need a little bit more connection with them and get to know them, you can have something where you gather together. But there's a couple of fun things that I will show you, and you've probably seen this from your uplines. And for instance, for buying certain artistry products, I love the illuminating essence. For instance, the company bought a whole other cosmetic company to get the patent of that illuminating essence, and that is to remove sun damage, which we're from Florida, so our whole group has sun damage, like we're just in the sun all the time, so we love that product. But now, when you get that product, you get this light up lip gloss as just for like $5 or something, and who cares, right, about the lip gloss? But this is what happened with us. People are thinking about gifts for the holidays and little gifts that they have to give for this or that. And I will show you. I have to set my mic down to show you what this does. But it has a mirror, It lights up as you put it on. At night, it's even better. And what I've done with this is like I wear a lip gloss anyway, but you ought to have one with you. It's amazing how much people love this. I've gotten so many comments and people asking me, where did you get that? And strangers coming up to me where I'm out and, you're out and you're putting it on. Oh, that's cool. It lights up. Here we're in the dark. And it's amazing how many people have talked to me about it. Another thing, I've gone to some meetings with our group where there are certain people that weren't buying all the products yet. I went to this IBO's house and they needed I pulled it out. Why, we haven't seen that in the website. What do we have to do? Well, they needed a gift for someone. The daughter wanted it. She wanted to give this also to someone else. So they ended up buying like the skin refinishing and the illuminating, is all because it came with the thing and they needed, everybody wanted one. So they had to get several. So it builds volume in your business. Something as silly as this, believe me, there is marketing thought going behind these things. So it's really cool, and you can get it. My other favorite promotion about the Give the Best campaign is with Double X, and I love the display. Thank you for the people who put this up here, because I know work goes into this. But Double X, Nutrilite is turning 75, and they are celebrating their 75 anniversary, and that is so cool. There's no other nutrition company that has that history. This is something you can really brag about, and right now there is an anniversary edition of the Double X, and it says 75 really pretty across, and people ask you, that is something I do a lot of drop and shop with Nutrilite just because I like to work out and a lot of my friends do and all of that. And when they see 75, it's a huge conversation point. But anyways, a lot of people don't know about this, but every time you buy a Double X, there's these little tabs on the side that says the 10 Nutrilite tabs Double X offer. And when you have 10 of these, you get one for free. That's been a promotion, and you can print a little page online and put them on there. Right now, with the 75-year anniversary thing, it's a great way. If you need to finish up your volume for the month, or if you need to figure out gifts, we're already in November. People are wrapping up their gifts and everything. I would say, these products have the best points. I only focus on the products that have the highest for my money, and that's what it should be. Focus on the win category. People, my siblings and people know that they get Nutrilite from us from Christmas if they are too cheap to buy their Double X, and I know they need it. Right now, the Double X, and is until supplies last, and a lot of people are going to buy the heck out of it, right? Because a lot of people just have lots of Double X clients, and you can just get them now, because now it's coming with 2 of these tabs instead of 1. So when you accumulate 10, you get a free Double X. So now for buying 5, you're going to get a free one. Is this making sense? So it's really cool. And for the people who I'm giving it to that don't buy that many and don't care, you can take the tabs just with a little thing off. I have so many. Do it. How much is a Double X? Right? It's brilliant. If somebody needs 200 extra bucks, it's so easy to do. So those are the 2 main ones. There's some other promotions with the Give the Best campaign, but those 2 excite me because they create a lot of volume, and they've been creating it on our organization already. The other thing for the holiday season is the ribbons. And there's some albums here. It's the gift albums that you can buy, so people don't say, oh, I hated that gift that Kayla and Aura gave me for Christmas, because maybe we didn't know what they wanted, or they can say that if they pick their own present, which is great. So you can get an album, decide how much money you're going to spend on the gift, and use these albums. And right now with the campaign, when you buy 4 variety albums, which is $30 a piece, you get 1 free. So it's awesome, because then you buy 4 gifts and you have 5 gifts to give. So that's a really cool one. And hey, $30 just for buying in packs of 4. Kayla and I have gift insurance. This is something funny. We get invited to baby showers, wedding showers, and all of this. And what it was before, we would run at the last minute, go to the registry. All of the items are bought. It was just like a nightmare. So now we have, on like a little file, we have some baby albums at all time, which right now they're called like Arrival. Can you imagine Kale picking out a baby gift? I don't know. Yeah, exactly. So we have gift insurance, and I recommend it highly for this season. You can just get gift insurance, get a lot of the baby albums. Right now, so many people that are around our age and stuff are getting babies or weddings and all of this stuff. So we keep those together, and we keep the ones for wedding occasion or all of these together. So, but these are awesome if you buy 4 and get 1 free. So anyways, have a strategy of what you would do and get good at promoting it. Now, I think some of you that hadn't thought about this, now you heard me talking about it and you feel like you're going to do some of it. And that's what happens with your group. You have to communicate to them what's happening like this. It's the small things to create excitement and show passion for it. Now, it's not the money you're going to make on one of them, but imagine as we are doing all this moving on to the next level and really fleshing out the teams with all of these, the money is significant. Kara and I are believers on top of having our teams grow and building the leadership while we find the leaders that are going to be Founders Platinum every year and all of that. And all of that is happening. Why not get 31% instead of 25%? Do you know that that's very profitable? Is very profitable. It's very profitable. So why not? That whole 6% in between you don't share with anybody is yours. 6% extra on everything. So some of you guys that are new maybe are not following me there, but if the numbers interest you, ask the person who is working with you. So anyways, I won't take any more time, but get excited about everything you can do these holidays. These are some ideas that you can do as we're doing VIP and as we're moving to the next level. I think Kel told you enough about showing the plan, just putting it in front of people. Keep your eyes open. Learn to love rejection. We love rejection. This is probably easy for Kel and I because we've never cared what people think. We always do different things. So whatever. People are going to talk about you no matter what you're doing, right? So long as they're talking, it's fine. Just keep going, keep doing it, and we need to learn to love rejection. So I don't remember what CD it is that it says, I love it when people tell me no, and there was a book that came out on CP. We got to become like that and just associate with the winners to know that the more we get rejected many times, which is not comfortable at the beginning, because not everybody is who we are looking for. We're just looking for a select group of winners, of people who want to win. And so it's just a winning combination.